So let's talk about color theory and specifically tint, tone, and shade. This is already kind of pre-sketched, so obviously yours is going to look a little bit different. For example, you don't have to use a dots and dog for your value scale here, but you do need to have a sphere, cube, cone, and cylinder, and a section for working with tone. And this is more of my working with tints and shades. You can arrange it however you want. This is how I chose to organize my composition, but you can have things sketched out, or you should have things sketched out before you start working with the paint. I don't want you to outline everything. Only section that I'm okay with you outlining is probably your 7-step value scale. I think I'm okay with that, especially if you want to add little details to kind of, you know, make it unique with your chosen subject matter. The rest of these, I don't want you to feel like things have to be outlined. So that's not what I'm looking for here. But if you want to label things, you can do that, but that's not required as far as the labeling. But I will be labeling to help you all see which parts of these painting requirements as far as what I'm looking for. So I think the labels will help with mine. A couple things you're going to need setting up. Once you have it mapped out on your 9x12 sheet of paper, you're going to need your palette. You should have black and white that I've given you. And I've decided I'm probably going to end up giving you the primaries, because you all know that now if you start mixing some of these, you know you're going to get your secondary or your intermediate colors. So if you wanted to work with your base color, your hue as green, you could take a little bit of your yellow and your blue and mix it on your palette to make that green, and then that could be your base color. But it's up to you which color or chosen hue that you want for each of these. Think of these individual cups as kind of your paint stock, meaning I don't recommend necessarily when you go to mix, let's say green, and start scooping from here and mixing it there. This should stay red, yellow, and blue, and use your palette knife, butter knife, to scoop and put on your paint palette so you can mix these colors here, and then you always have these primary colors to make any other color that you want. So now, after kind of having our introduction, you all know, hey, where does black and white fit into this whole color wheel and how we get these different color variations. One of the first things that I'm going to have you guys work on after sketching everything out is applying your value scale. So I'm going to be trying to, as far as the 7 steps, your center section should be just your color, your chosen hue. So if I'm going to make this a, let's say a red, no, let's go with blue. If I'm going to work with blue as my main color for this dots and dog here, this middle section is just going to be my chosen hue, which is the color blue. Everything on this side of my value scale is going to go from white to a white blue to a white with even more blue. And then this is kind of that divider. And then everything after just the blue is blue with a little bit of black, a little bit more black, and then at the very end you have your pure black. So we're going to see a variation from light to dark. Afterwards, we're going to talk about tone, which is working with your base color, but then also working with gray. So mixing the white and the black to show that you can show tonal changes using the color gray. So I'm going to save that for that area there. And then the next challenge will be, how do I take these new color mixing techniques and apply them to a basic form to get them to look 3-dimensional? Not just drawing them 3-dimensional, but how do I apply color and get that illusion of something being 3-dimensional? And that's where the 5 elements of shading come in. So you're going to use your base color and work with variations of white and black to get it to look 3D. So that's kind of a run through of the project and kind of show you how I start each one.